Hi everyone, if you are finding this content helpful and want to dive deeper into the course, make sure to check out the entire course available on Udemy. By purchasing the course, you will get access to the course content, downloadable resources, and exclusive material to help you master developing this app using Flutter and Firebase. The link is in the description below.
Now, let's implement the user address model and user model and save the data to our Cloud Firestore database. So here are some of the parameters which we will be rolling on for user address model. So let's have a look. It's user ID, latitude, longitude, room number of the user, apartment of the user, address title, like what's the address type? It's a workplace, it's a home, or it's family, friends, whatever. So the address upload time, and at last a bool that is this address is currently active or not. Like there can be multiple addresses, so we will fetch data for the active address location. Next, here is our user model. We are rolling with three parameters: name, profile pic, and the user ID. So let's create constructor. Next, let's create JSON serialization. We will go to address model. Here we will go with constructor, and next we will go with JSON serialization. Let's start our application. So here is our app ready. Now we will go to our Uber restaurant application. From there we will copy some functions. Let's go to lib, controller, services, and here we do have auth services. Is it check restaurant, verify, sign out? Okay, this is not the. We will be looking forward for restaurant CRUD services. Here we do have fetch restaurant. We want to upload data, register restaurant. So we'll copy this one, go back to our Uber Eats, and here inside services, we want to create a new folder, and it's going to be user data CRUD services. And here we will go with new file, naming it user data CRUD services dot dot. Now let's create a new class here, user data CRUD services, and here we will paste this entire thing. So instead of register restaurant, it's going to be register user, and another one we will paste again here, and it's going to be add address. Now let's go to the top. In register user, here it will receive user model, and for the build context we have to import material. We have to import our constants file. We have to import page transition. We have to import the sign in logic screen, and another import is going to be Dart developer. Now we will come down, and here instead of add restaurant model, it's going to be address model. Now instead of restaurant, it's going to be user, and here it's going to be address. So after registering of the user, we don't want to just navigate. Yeah, we do want to navigate the user, but after adding up the address, we don't want to navigate the user. Instead, we want to give a toast message. So we'll go with toast service dot send scaffold, and here it's going to be address added successful. Toast status, it's going to be success, and here we have the context. Now at last we have to go with a semicolon. It's good now. We will minimize this to function. And another one which we want to go up with is fetch data. Okay, here we have register, here we have the fetch thing. We'll copy this from restaurant application, come back to user data CRUD, paste here. We will import Cloud Firestore. Instead of restaurant model, it's going to be user model, and here it's going to be user model, and here instead of fetch restaurant, it's going to be fetch user data, and we are good. Now let's see, this is the fetch user data. Here we have to go with user. Yeah, we have to go with user, and we are good. Now let's go to view, and here we will go to user registration screen, and we have added elevated button at the bottom. Here we will go with asynchronous. First we will go with the, what you can say, the registration of address. Okay, so first we will go with, no, we will go with registration of user. So we'll go with user data CRUD services dot register user, and here we have to go with user model user data equals user model, and here the name is going to be name controller dot text dot trim, then profile pic URL. Okay, for the profile pic URL, we have to first push the profile pic to Firestore database, Firestore storage. So we'll go with image services dot upload to Firespace storage, and get URL. Here we will go with context dot read, and it's going to be, let's have a look onto the provider name, profile provider. Move back here, profile provider, we have to import the provider. Okay, it's already imported, I think so. Dot profile image, we have to add an null check here, and we have to wrap this inside of a list. We have the context, and now we will add a semicolon here. Here we have to go with string URLs equals await, and here we have the profile pic URL, right? So we have to go with URLs of 0, and the user ID is going to be auth dot current user dot UID. We have to add a null check, and here we have to go with another model. It's going to be user data, add a comma here, and let's ignore build context thing. Next, here we have to go with address model address data equals address model. Let's go to address model. Okay, this is not the address model. Basically, we have to go with, what was the model name? Let's go to model. It's user address model. It's going to be user address model, and here we'll go with user address model, and here we do have a lot of things. So user ID is going to be auth dot current user dot UID. We have to add a epsilon for null check, latitude, and we have to go with the latitude and longitude. So here we will go with position location equals await location services dot get current location, and the latitude is going to be location dot latitude, location dot longitude. Then room number is going to be, we have to go with apartment controller dot text dot trim. Address title, here it's going to be save address as controller dot text dot trim. And upload time going to be date time dot now. Is active, we will go with false. Add a comma and we are good. Now here we have to go with room number. Let's go and have a look onto the controller, text editing controller. Here it's house number controller. So room number is going to be house number controller dot text dot trim. Let's save it. We have the two model ready. We have this register user, and we will go with user data CRUD services dot add address, and it's going to be address data. We will go to add address. Here instead of address model, it's going to be user address model. Let's go back here. Let's save it. And the first thing which we want to trigger is a set state. Let's check what was the bool name. Come back here. We will go with the bool registered button pressed equals true. Before triggering the register, we want to add some more logic. So here we'll go back to main and uncomment the sign in logic screen. We'll head over to sign in logic screen. Here we do have check authentication, and now we want to check that the user is registered or not. So for that we will head over to restaurant application, and here if we go to services, mobile auth services, we have check registration, check restaurant registration. So we will copy this entire function, come back to our Uber Eats application, and here we will paste the function. So check user registration, it's going to be check user registration. Here is going to be user ID. Here we'll go with a log message, user is registered. If user is registered, let's go here, we will have to update it as user is registered. Copy this, paste here, paste here, paste here, paste here. If user is registered, navigate the user to bottom navbar, else navigate to user registration screen. And here we will call this function in check authentication. After checking authentication, if user equals to null, then move to login screen, else trigger this function, that is check user registration. Okay, we'll add a semicolon, save it, and restart the application. There are some changes which we have to make here, and it should be a list of string, not string. Inside user registration screen, we have to go with a list of string because it will return us a list of string. And the next thing is that we have the user model. We will go with the location. We have the user address model. So first we want to make sure that we upload the address and then we trigger the registration flow. So let's go with the registration. Now here we will go with our image and fill up other necessary details. Here we have filled all of the details. Now let's click the register button. So we'll click the register button and wait till we get registered. So here we do have this address added successful, but the toast message is a of type warning. So we'll go with add address, and here we have to go with capital success, and we are good. Now we have successfully registered to our application.
Hi everyone, if you are finding this content helpful and want to dive deeper into the course, make sure to check out the entire course available on Udemy. By purchasing the course, you will get access to the course content, downloadable resources, and exclusive material to help you master developing this app using Flutter and Firebase. The link is in the description below.